am Founding Father Benjamin Franklin, and welcome to the Step Up America Foundation podcast. Join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we celebrate incredible Americans from all walks of life. You may hear from a NASA astronaut, a professional or amateur athlete, a musician, and of course, current and past military heroes, just to name a few. And who knows, you might even learn a thing or two along the way. Well, that's enough from me. Let me introduce you to our hosts, John McIntosh, Mark Renahan, and Adrian Garcia. Take it away, team!
And welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Step Up America podcast / Facebook Live show. I'm your host, John McIntosh. I'm always blessed to have, I am privileged, not blessed, privileged to have Mr. Mark Renahan by my right-hand side, the voice of Ben Franklin. How are you, bud?
I'm fantastic, John. How you doing? You wanted to say something else there, I think. You're lucky you changed yourself.
I know,
so.
It's a family show.
Yeah,
and
right.
we also have in the studio Mr. Adrian Garcia, one of our engagement coordinators and also a facilitator in the classroom. How are you, bud?
I'm doing well, John. Feeling privileged also.
And nice, excellent. And of course, Noah behind the scenes, who forgot to put his Step Up America shirt on. And woo!
I was busy with the cameras. I'm sorry.
No, I gotcha. How are you, Noah?
So we had annoyed that the equipment malfunctioned on the day that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Wait, you got it running, so we're good. Yeah. We're good. So, Mark, we got a very special guest. Do you want to introduce him? Then we'll hop into our regular Tuesday programming with the geography game.
I will, as it was Veterans Week, and
Excellent.
we're big supporters here of veterans at Step Up America, and we're also supporters of first responders. I thought I would mix the two of them together, and also as this person is a buddy of mine, we needed a guest, and I figured I'd call in and make him come on. But we have with us today, he is the fire chief of the Milton, Massachusetts Fire Department, my hometown where I am from, and he is a former Coast Guard veteran, Mr. Chris Madden. Chief, how are you?
Very good. I feel privileged to be here, too.
That's it. Jump right on Macintosh. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, if you haven't learned, Chris, I'm the scapegoat for all the harassment.
He's the dad figure we harass.
Yeah,
but
it's all good.
Before we get into Chris's
Go
ahead, Chris.
No, I was going to say it's a good place to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
There
not
we go.
complaining. I'm not complaining.
All right. Well, before we get into talking about Chris's story and how he became fire chief after serving in the Coast Guard, of course, it's time for the geography game. And this week, Adrian is throwing the dart, and because the cameras are a little derpy, as Noah would say, the screen is off to the right, so it's a difficult throw. But
it's literally in a corner, so I guess
So
we'll see how this goes.
so-
Yeah,
we're
no, I know, but our viewers, they don't see that. So
Okay,
it
that's
looks
true.
solid. So it's just, Adrian, hit the flat wall. Good luck, buddy.
Good
Flat
luck,
wall
buddy.
in the corner. We'll see
if
how
you
it
hit
goes.
John,
Flat wall.
John, no one's going to be that upset.
All right, let's see.
Oh, what do you get?
All right,
Dead
Noah.
center of Illinois.
Illinois.
haven't
I
done
like
Illinois
it.
yet.
We haven't done that
All
one.
right,
so.
All right,
So
well, hang on. Slow down.
Illinois.
You're always so jumpy, man. Relax.
I'd like to really
Relax.
something bad to you. All right, you're going to
So,
get it today
Chris, Chief. All right, here's
Yeah.
how this game works. Adrian just hit Illinois. So Mark and I are going to quiz Adrian on some fun facts about Illinois. Now, if he stumbles or has any problems, he's allowed to call a lifeline, which would be you, Chief. Are you prepared?
Sure, why not?
All right, excellent. All right, you want to go
Lord.
first, Mark?
Sure. What is the state license plate slogan of Illinois?
Illinois. Emerald State.
Hold on a minute.
Emerald State. Really? Where did that come from? If you're right, my top's going to be blown.
No, it is
Mark's
not. It is
not-
not
Mark's
the Emerald
not
State.
prepared.
It is
He's-
not the Mount. Listen, you better just.
The Great
start
Lakes
right
State.
now.
The
It is
Great
not the,
Lakes State.
Nope. Actually, I'll give you a hint.
Okay. I'm ready.
There was a very famous president involved in the Civil War.
Yes,
Oh, boy.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, but now what is the slogan? It's the blank of Lincoln.
The.
Oh, come on. Call a lifeline. If you don't know this, the
All right,
blank
Chris.
of Lincoln. Come
Chris, do you happen to know that or no?
I gotta go with the birthplace of Lincoln.
Yay!
Oh, the birthplace,
That's
of
what I'm going
course.
with.
Well, and you're wrong, Macintosh.
Is it
So
really?
maybe if you were a little more humble. You're awful. What is in you
Birthplace of
today
Lincoln.
that you're all on fire here? You're shooting comments
Because I
at
got
everybody?
some exciting news that
All
I
right.
can't
Well,
share.
it's the land of Lincoln is
The
one.
land
All
of
right,
Lincoln.
but
okay.
Chris, I would have went exactly with what you said.
All right. Well, also it's the mile after Magnificent Mile.
Oh, I
and
would have never
the
gotten
right
that.
here, right now.
All right, Adrian,
Those are
state
the-
capital.
State capital.
Illinois.
Okay. Bloomington.
Nope, that's Indiana, brother.
Dang. All right, I guess I'm calling on my lifeline again, Chris.
Chris, any idea what the capital of Illinois is? I'll make it
I think that one's Springfield.
You got it.
Springfield.
Ding,
It
ding,
is.
ding, ding, ding.
I was gonna say it's where the Simpsons live. But I
Why
wasn't
did I
100%
think
sure.
that? Why did I think Springfield was Michigan for some reason? That's why I didn't say that.
No.
Because there's like 4 different states with a Springfield.
That's
Oh
true.
God.
It's actually probably like
Well,
30. But
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
we're not done. What
probably
is
50.
the state nickname?
Birthplace of Lincoln.
No, but close. Same as the license plate.
Oh, land of Lincoln.
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
Yes, and also
Nice.
the Prairie State.
Prairie State.
All right, so
This was a hard one.
all right, there's
Well, we haven't mentioned the largest city in Chicago that everything is famous there for. What would be the largest city
in Chicago,
in Illinois?
Chicago.
Yeah, come on,
You just said
Marky.
it. Chicago.
I'm getting old and losing my mind.
All right, name 2 professional sports teams that are out of Illinois. Baseball, come on, man. You should
Toro,
know this.
Toro.
It's easy.
Baseball.
Toro.
We just gave you the big city.
What is a
Chicago.
Toro?
Look,
I don't know.
In Spanish.
You're asking the wrong. Oh, Bull.
So the blanks.
Chicago Bulls.
There you go.
all right, one more.
I feel like this is an easy one. This has to be an easy one.
What do I wear on my feet?
Wrigley Field. Come on, Adrian.
White
let's go.
Sox.
There you
No,
go.
that's
That's Chicago.
it is, but that's not Wrigley
Well, I'm just
Field.
helping my
It's
man
not.
out.
Oh,
Oh my
Lord.
God,
A
John.
baby bear.
Chris.
A baby bear. What's a
Yeah,
baby
come
bear?
on now.
What's a baby bear called?
Chicago
A
Cubs.
cub.
There you
There
go.
we go.
There you go.
Excellent. All right, now we're moving
All
around,
right.
so-
What else about Illinois? Is there anything else you can think of? Great Lakes, I believe. Is there a Great Lake?
Yeah.
A couple of them on there.
Well, here
Great Lakes State.
I've actually
I'm telling
spent
ya.
a little bit of time in Illinois, not a lot. And here's what I remember: a lot of wind turbines
Very, yeah.
and a heck of a lot of corn, very similar to Nebraska
Huh.
and
They have
Indiana.
what is Chicago famous for in terms of food? Deep dish pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah. Chicago deep dish.
No, Chicago dog, man.
Yeah.
The hot dog.
I forgot to tell you, by the way, I was going to bring it up, and I hate to keep ignoring Chris here, but Sunday night I had the absolute best time of my life. I went to I drove up to Titusville to watch the shuttle take off. Excuse me, I'm
Well,
losing
not
my mind.
shuttle. It's called a rocket.
Rocket, whatever. And we stopped at Colonel Mustard's hot dog place on the way.
Oh, did you?
It was so good. I got a.
Did you get a Chicago dog?
Henry did. I got a barbecue dog covered in onions and goodness, and I also got I think it was like a chili dog. It was just.
Ooh, that
it was,
sounds good.
It was the cheat
Excellent.
meal, and I went to town on that. So, but anyway, enough about Chicago and Illinois. As we always here at Step Up America like to celebrate our veterans and, of course, our first responders. We have a double one today. Again, we introduced to you Chris Madden. So, Chris, let's get right into it. How old were you, and when did you decide to join the Coast Guard? And could you maybe touch a little bit on your Coast Guard experience?
Absolutely. First off, would Springfield Isotopes work for the professional baseball team there?
Yes,
Ugh.
it would have from the Simpsons. It absolutely would have, Chris. Excellent, excellent.
So I was a little bit older when I joined the Coast Guard. I tried a couple of colleges, found out college wasn't for me. And so I was 23 years old when I joined the Coast Guard. And went to boot camp. It was a struggle, but one of the greatest things about boot camp is when you make it through, you feel like you're invincible and you can do anything. And I was lucky enough to get through. Met some great people from all over the country. It was fantastic. It was an experience that you wouldn't want to do a second time, but it was one of those things that you'll never forget any of it. So, boot camp is a special place, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Looking back at it now, at the time, not so much. Right from there, I actually had the pleasure of joining with my cousin. He was in the same boot camp company, and we joined together. So, the funny part about it, he was from the south coast of Massachusetts, And when we got out of boot camp, I went to New Bedford to his backyard, and he went to Alaska. And so we went to very different places. So it was good to see that from his perspective, going to Alaska. I got to go to a 270-foot cutter out of New Bedford, Massachusetts, the Coast Guard Cutter Tahoma. Was on there for a year. We did some helo ups with Air Station Cape Cod. And when they landed one of the times, I got to talk to a crew member for a little bit. And he told me all about aviation. I put my name on the list. And next thing you know, less than a year later, I was at Air Station Cape Cod learning all about aviation and flying in Coast Guard helicopters. So did that for 4 years. And then got my job as a firefighter in my hometown. So it was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
So,
the Coast Guard taught me a lot, and it was great.
So, Chris, let me ask you this, and it's funny because I can relate. Boot camp is one of those things, and a lot of people are scared to join the military because of that initiation phase, right? And I couldn't agree more with you when you said that it was one of the worst but best experiences of your life. It's what's neat about the military is they really tear you down to create they tear you down, break you down so you're not an individual anymore. And then by the time you graduate and you succeed, you feel like a champion. And I think you mentioned that, Chief, right? That once you graduate boot camp, you feel like you're on top of the world and you're invincible, I think was your words. And I think that's the cool thing about the military is it's all about breaking down those egos, breaking down those individual characteristics that we all carry. I mean, let's face it, right? And then building you back up as a unit. And you feel so accomplished, right?
Absolutely. For me, myself, I was contrary with what Mark will say, I was a quiet kid growing up. And hanging around with Mark was great. He really has a way of bringing people out of their shells. And so I was a quiet kid. And then when I tried, going off to college and stuff, and I wasn't successful at college, you know what I mean? I struggled at finding your way and stuff like that. And so when you join, the military, and I honestly, I don't know if Mark will remember this, but I broke my arm and my foot on a trip to Mexico.
I do quite well.
I'm not even going to ask how that
Nope,
happened.
we're not going to discuss that trip whatsoever.
I'm going to guess it was a spring break trip, maybe. I don't know. But we're going to leave that one
Something
alone.
along the lines of that.
It was
maybe.
actually Chris and I were on a humanitarian mission, and we were going down there to help out with injured local wildlife.
I almost believe him.
Yes, exactly.
Chris, I almost believe him.
Great trip.
It was a great trip, but when I came back and you look at it, I was laid up for a couple of weeks. I felt like I needed a change in my life, and watching cable late night one night, there was a show about the Coast Guard, and I said, you know what, I really need to do this. So I was. Not that I was down, but you know what I mean? I knew I needed a change, and getting into boot camp was definitely a challenge, especially after having a broken arm for, a while and then a broken leg. And so you had to whip yourself back into shape and get into that shape. And it was a personal test. You know what I mean? Like you had to, any obstacle that they gave you, you had to overcome it. And all it is just not quitting and just making sure that you have the belief that you can accomplish whatever they ask you to do. And that really resonated with me after graduating boot camp. I completed everything they asked me to do, and now I'm ready to go do whatever they want me to do further on, and to saving lives or doing the drug interdiction or the immigration stuff down in the South. But so it was great. Boot camp was definitely set me on a path for the rest of my life, and I can't thank him enough. I apologize. I am in the firehouse right now.
It's okay. That's
good.
all right. We don't want to stop first responders.
Yeah.
So, Chris, let me ask you a question. Like, I'm sure we have listeners out there, and when we go into classrooms, we have high school kids a lot, and again, they often ask us. And just by the way, in case you're unaware, John next to me here was a captain in the Air Force at the Guam Motor Bull. I like to point that out.
Amongst other places, Chris.
I like to point that out. That's what you get for you
so.
running your mouth early. A little prank you played on me earlier, which we can't talk about, but I'll get you. But anyway, Chris, so for somebody listening who may be super nervous about boot camp, you weren't exactly you didn't go into boot camp running 10 miles a day, and you just I know you worked out and stuff, but I know you were nervous. But for the average kid, it's doable though. Do you know what I mean? Can you kind of explain that a little bit? How I'm sure you must have been horrified at the time, going from all the things that you're used to and comfortable with living in the town we grew up in, and then going out with all these strange people. So how is that as an experience?
So yeah. I guess the biggest thing that it taught me was to never quit. Once you quit, you lost. You know what I mean? So if they ask you to do push-ups and for 25 minutes, not many people can do push-ups for 25 minutes straight. But as long as you didn't quit, you were fine. It showed that you had some fight in you, and it kind of taught you that the fight or flight. If you're going to quit, then you need to change the way that your attitude and keep on fighting and do what you have to do to get by. And that's what it was. I mean, I'm not in great shape. I wasn't in great shape. Like I said, I wasn't a musclehead or anything like that. I didn't live in a gym or anything, but, with the help of the guys, and that was probably one of the biggest things is, you look at the guy to the left, you look at the guy to the right, and everyone's struggling. So it's okay to struggle, and you work together to get through it, a little bit of words of encouragement here and there, and the guys would get you through, and you'd get through together, and you've made some tremendous friends in there, and that's what you did. You just keep on fighting, never quit, and that was huge, and I've kind of lived that for the rest of my life so far. You know what I mean? If there's a challenge in front of me, I'm not going to quit. If I want it, I'm going to go after it, and that's where I am today. I wouldn't be where I am today without that attitude that I learned in boot camp. Is just keep on fighting.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. So my next question for you, Chris, is so you're out of boot camp, and you just said that you were on a ship, I believe. What was the name of it again? The Tawanda?
The Coast Guard got it to Tahoma.
Tahoma, I'm sorry. So what was it like going from, literally you live in Milton, hanging out with all our buddies from childhood, the ones that are still left, and you go from that to boot camp to boom, now you're on a ship. What was life like on a ship for a year? Just maybe touch base on that a little bit.
It was, the first week, one of the things is right out of boot camp, I came home for 7 days, and then I had to meet them in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. So flying into Puerto Rico, wasn't a bad thing. You got to experience Puerto Rico right off the bat. So that was great. But it's a little bit difficult at first, you know what I mean? You're in a new place, you don't know anybody, but you're there for the foreseeable future, so you might as well make the best of it and get along with the guys that you did. Fortunately, we were based out of New Bedford. There was a lot of kids from a lot of guys from New England. So we were split even, you're talking the Yankees and whatever, Yankees Red Sox rivalry, you know what I mean? The New York Boston rivalry. So it just made for a great time, and you learn so much. Just be a sponge, take it in, learn. The old adage that you have 2 ears, 1 mouth, do half the talking, twice the listening. You just learn so much. And then being on a ship, and I've been on cruises and everything else, but to be on a ship out in the North Atlantic, the stars, unbelievable. The sunsets, the sunrises. I mean, you're up at all hours of the night anyways, so you might as well take in those things that you don't get to experience anyplace else. You're learning. The Tahoma I was very, very blessed. I mean, we started in the Caribbean, so we toured the Caribbean for a couple of months, then came back to port up here in New Bedford. We did the North Atlantic, so we pulled into every major port along the East Coast and in the Caribbean up to Halifax. So you got to learn so much about the world, and it was great. And then doing your job and putting yourself in some of these crazy situations, through 25-foot seas in a 270-foot boat. It was one of those things where you never thought you'd be there, but you're experiencing it. And what the hell? Might as well enjoy it, right?
Yeah,
So,
well,
Exactly.
yeah, no, you make the best. Yeah, that's no, you sound like a very positive gentleman, Chris. And first of all, let me thank you for your service, and we appreciate that as Americans. And now I want go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris.
No, I was going to thank you for, thank you. I appreciate that compliment for being positive, but there's only one way to live. And if you dwell on the negative, then you won't go very far. You got to be positive and see the future and what you want in the future. Be positive. And thank you for your service. Even if it was in Guam, that's so.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Chris. Just for the record,
is
he
great.
forgot to mention my assignment in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and Georgia. So he only likes to bring up the beach scene.
lot of scuba
Guam.
diving going
Yeah.
on. A lot of scuba diving going on in Guam.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of scuba diving going on in Grand Forks, North Dakota. 60 below wind chills. So
I gotcha.
that was Anyway, I suffered.
great.
No, but go ahead, Chris.
I'll just let you know that the ribbing that I don't get very much because in the firehouse I'm the only guy that's in the Coast Guard. So you got these Marines, you got the Army, you got the Air Force, and National Guard, and everyone's here. And so they all just rag on me. They wish me a happy Homeland Security Day on the 11th.
No, see, that's funny you bring that up, Chris, because I was going to say this, but since you brought it up, us veterans can razz each other, and we just take it with a grain of salt because that's what we do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's what we do, but we know if it ever got real that I got your back, you got my back, and that's the way it works, and we have fun with one another. So it's nice to have a Coastie because other than the Air Force, I think the Coasties get picked on more than the Air Force. So I'm just saying, it's nice. It's nice to have you.
Now, actually, speaking of that, Chris, and I want to kind of slowly transition to life, from the veteran status to firefighter. But like you just mentioned, it was something I was going to bring up later. Like you, as the fire department, there are a ton of veterans working with you. I know my main man, Big Al, Tim Allen, he's a Milton firefighter, correct? And I know he's a former veteran. And I know I'm forgetting a bunch, but there's a ton of guys in there. So a lot of veterans take to firefighting. So maybe you could just talk about how you went from the Coast Guard to firefighting and continuing to serve the community.
Yeah. So I was very, very lucky just because I went from the boat to the Air Station Cape Cod and got to fly around this neighborhood for a long time, for 4 years. And so taking the up in Massachusetts, we have civil service, and they really take care of the vets up here. So me being from Milton, what they typically like to do is they'll take a disabled, there's certain categories. So if you take the exam and somebody in your family died in the line of duty as a firefighter or a cop, then you go to the top of the list. The next is disabled veterans that are residents in the town, and then a veteran in the town, and then it goes to open to all residents in the town. So, when I got hired, there were 4 guys hired. We're a small department, 60 guys. So they hired 4 of us, and 3 of us were veterans, and the 4th guy wasn't. So this state takes great care of our veterans right now. And it's one of the important things for me, for telling any of these new guys or young kids that are in high school, check out the veterans preference on any exam that you can take, a civil service exam, whether, your brother up in Orlando or whatever, however the city or town or state does it. So being a veteran up here in Massachusetts is they take so much care of you, where you get first choice on the cops or being a firefighter. So it really is great. And so having the ability to live in the state that I was at, that I was working in and lived in and stuff like that. So I got to take the test, and fortunately at the time the chief at the time was a Coast Guard veteran. So as soon as I came in, said I was Coast Guard. Basically, that was the end of the interview, and said, absolutely, when can you start? So an interesting part of making that transition was I was still in the Coast Guard. This was probably June of 2001. And they offered me the job, and I couldn't take it because I wasn't getting out of the Coast Guard till January of 2002. And then, so the chief said he had to pass me by, just because he was hiring at that moment, and he said he'll get me afterwards. And so he sent me an email about a month later, right around the beginning of August, saying that the town ran out of money and they weren't putting any on new firefighters. So, he'll contact me in a year and let me know how things are going. And then obviously September 11th happened, and he called me up right after September 11th and said, "Are you available to take this job? I got the money to hire 10 firefighters." And so it was probably one of the most difficult decisions that I had to make was, how do I get out early to take a job that I love? If I don't get out early, doing a job that I loved to something that will take care of me for the rest of my life. And I had a senior chief at Air Station Cape Cod, and I went and sat down with him for about 20 minutes, telling him, I have this opportunity to become a firefighter. This is this is why I joined the Coast Guard, so I could get my veterans preference to become a firefighter. And his response to me was, "Chris, 343 firemen just died on September 11th. And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Does that change your mind?" And I said, "It concerns me, but no, I still want to be a firefighter." And he said, "Thank you." He goes, "My father was chief, and it was a Bridgeport, Connecticut, I believe, fire chief." And he said, "I'll see what I can do." He called me up a week later, and he said, I was lucky enough to get a 30-day early out. And one of those things where, you sit there and, don't quit. Attitude kind of played into it as I started the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy on October 22nd. I was there of 2001. I was there from Monday through Friday, full days, learning how to become a firefighter. And on Saturdays and Sundays, I was standing 48 hours of watch at Air Station Cape Cod to make up that time. And December 7th was my early out date. So from October 22nd all through November to December 7th, I worked 48-hour shifts over the weekends to make sure I had my time and completed the Mass Fire Academy Monday through Friday. So it was a tough transition, but it was all, in the end, it was worth it. So I thank him enough.
Yeah,
I can't thank him enough.
Well, that's cool. And Chris, not only thank you again for your service, but you've dedicated your life to service, because what you're doing now as a first responders, as the chief of the Milton Fire Department, is you're still giving back. And I think that's one of the cool things that the military actually teaches. It's trying to, you always want to be part of something that is bigger than yourself and giving back, which is cool. And to see you, or to listen to your story and see how your life has played out, you're the perfect example of that. So from the Step Up America Foundation, we just thank you for your service. We hope when you decide to retire, maybe you'll become part of the Step Up America Foundation or something and continue to keep giving back, because it's just in your blood. So God bless you and thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it just, I cherish it. You know what I mean? There are some people, my wife, she brought it to my attention one day when I was talking about work, and she said, she goes, "You went from being in the Coast Guard, going into an air station hangar every day, where every day you were in awe of the things that you were going to do that day, or a possibility of doing that day." She's like, "You went from that to going into a firehouse where you're in awe of the apparatus and the equipment that we carry and the men and women that you're serving with and stuff like that." And then I was lucky enough to become on the side an instructor at the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy. I've done that for about 15 years now, and I was in awe of the men and women around there. So yeah, just trying to give back and do what you can. You know what I mean? I'm lucky enough to love the jobs that I've done for the last 25 years. It's just, I love going to work. You can't beat it. It's truly a special place to be able to, do any of the, serve and then become a firefighter afterwards. It really is special. And I am very, very lucky.
Awesome. Well,
Very
thank you
cool.
again. And Adrian, I think you got something for Chris?
Yes. So Chris, if a high school senior were to come up to you and they were thinking about becoming a firefighter, what advice would you give them?
So I've been doing this a lot lately, and my number one answer for here is, and I'm lucky enough, a very good friend of mine that I work with today, I believe it's his nephew's first day. I think today's his indoctrination day into the Coast Guard. Yeah, so he came up. I think he's about 20. He did some college and asked, what was the Coast Guard like, and I said it was the best decision I ever made in my life. So if I were to talk to a high school kid, I would say, listen, you really need to know what you want and have a goal. If you want to become a firefighter or a cop or whatever you want to be, have that goal and understand the steps that are going to get you there to achieve what you want. And, to become a firefighter in this state, this town, you have to be a veteran. If you want to lock yourself in, become a veteran. There are a lot of cities and towns outside of here, further away from the city that run their ambulance. And, so you could go become a paramedic. That's a 2-year school kind of thing, become a paramedic and get that, and then you can get hired. But, for this town, we don't hire paramedics. We hire right off the civil service list. And we just hired 3 guys. They just graduated from the fire academy, and 2 are veterans. And so it was easy. It was easy to grab these kids because, they have the fight, that they can accomplish some great things. And it speaks volumes. You get out with that DD 214 with the honorable discharge, that speaks a lot to me. You know what I mean? That means that you've done it and you can do anything that you set your mind to, and that's important,
Yeah, and
awesome. Very nice.
Yeah, one of the cool things that people don't realize, Chris, is that there's a myriad of different reasons why people join the service, right? Sometimes it's to get your college paid. Sometimes it's you're lost and you just need direction. Other times it's your calling, right? But no matter what reason you choose, I would say this, and I would ask if you agree with me or not. You come out in better shape than you went in, period. And it's a win-win situation.
Oh, I 100%. I absolutely agree with you. Whether you are joining to pay off your college loans, you come out with those college loans paid off. If you are looking for direction, you come out and you have a direction, then yeah, absolutely, it works. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. The military is, for me, and it's kind of ironic where sitting behind a desk wasn't something that I was looking forward to, for my life. So it got me the job that I wanted to do. So it definitely paid dividends for me. And ironically now, look at me now, I'm sitting behind a desk.
Yeah, right. You and me both, but but we are both doing jobs that
it's all
serve.
for a good purpose.
So, yeah,
it's all good
that's
for a
the
good
cool
purpose.
thing. So, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was waiting. I thought I dumped you there. Hey, one of the things that we do here, right? Before we get into a very special part of our program, I don't know if Mark has warned you about this or not, but you're going to be subjected to a pop culture trivia quiz. Okay?
Okay.
And before we get into that, I just want to talk briefly about the Step Up America program, and then we're going to just harass you, Chris, because you are such a good gentleman, and that's our duty is to harass you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Mark, we're busy in the classroom, right, Adrian?
Oh, yes, we are.
It's been kind of a crazy year, to say the least, right?
A little bit, a
Yeah,
little bit. 2020 was a little off.
You guys have
insane.
you guys have figured out how to adapt and overcome the situations, and now we're back into schools, albeit most of the time virtually, sometimes in person, just depends on the situation. But we're booking up really quick. So if you want to have the Franklin Project come into your classroom free of charge, because we are a 501c3 and it costs you nothing, just shoot us an email at info@stepupamericaprogram.org. And Mark, I was giddy when I came in
You were.
today. I
Played a little prank. That
I
wasn't
did.
funny.
I did play a little
Just
prank
gonna let
on
you
you.
know it's gonna be you versus me now in prank
No, that's
games.
fine.
Who do you think's gonna win that one?
But
anyway.
we have some very, very, very exciting news coming up. I can't say anything yet, but for all of our followers out there and listeners out there, I'm going to say stoked.
Yeah,
that
just
still
so
a word?
everybody knows,
Because,
John came in and he pretended that the news was not good and that things had gone terribly bad, and I believed that, getting angry, and then he said, "Ha ha, kidding, it went well."
Yeah.
And he doesn't realize that I will make him pay for that a
That's
million
fine.
times
No,
over.
it's
Now you
good.
have to watch your back, John.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. But we do have some very, very exciting news that we're going to share maybe within the next couple days. But we just got to iron a few details out. So stay tuned on that. So, Chris, here's how this game works. You are going to be subjected to 5 pop culture quizzes. And as always, since you are a fire chief, I'm assuming, Mark, this quiz is going to be based on first responder fire movies.
It is.
something
It
like
is
that?
actually a combination of Coast Guard movies
Excellent.
and fire department.
Oh,
Excellent. So,
all right.
That's fun.
Chris.
I knew I should have watched Backdraft last
Ah,
night.
Yeah.
yes.
No. So, Chris, this is how it works. All right. So we've only given out 2, right? We have 2 tied champions.
Yep.
Yep. Chief Toberman of
Space Force.
Space Force, and we also have Sergeant Major of the Army, retired 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, retired Jack Tilley, and Sergeant Major Myers. Just
Yeah,
brought
let's
home-
that's Sergeant
That's
Major
iffy.
Myers.
Yeah, I know.
that's Tilly was cheating with Myers
Yeah.
as his brains.
So we do have a trophy sitting here in the closet, waiting to just another champion to emerge, so we can ship it off.
I will
So-
say this, Chris. So I go online before the show to kind of come up with these quizzes, and this is going to be tough because Coast Guard movies and fire. I mean, this backdraft. But anyway, here we go, Chris. Are you ready?
You got to explain the rules.
Okay,
real
so you
quick.
get 5. You get 5 questions. Does he get a lifeline?
Yeah, Chris. Now you can dial a lifeline in either Adrian or myself.
Yeah, so you have Adrian and John as your lifeline. But here is the 5-question quiz. So, question number 1. The Coast Guard movie, The Finest Hours, was based on the wreck of this boat.
I read this book too.
I'm just telling you, if you're calling in a lifeline, don't bother calling me.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Finest
know
Hours
either.
was 2 of them. It was in like the Moreau or something like that.
All right.
All right, so
No.
go ahead.
Go ahead. It might have came to me, Chris, if you want to dial a lifeline in.
Yeah, I'll dial the lifeline. Just it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't really think of it.
It starts with a P. Pendle.
Well, now you're
Am I
talking.
right or no?
It's the SS Pendleton.
Well,
so-
you didn't let me
Pendle.
finish.
You guys didn't know, so that's wrong. I'm not giving away my trivia. I can't lose every quiz because you're going to make people cheat. So, question 2. Speaking of the Pendleton, that movie was based on a Coast Guard base that was located where I go in the summertime. What town on Cape Cod is that?
I know it very, very well. Chatham.
Yes, that's correct. You get that one right. All right, we are now moving on to fire. The movie Backdraft is, of course, the famous firefighting movie based on 2 brothers who were members of this giant fire department in the Midwest.
Chicago.
Yes, correct. And isn't it a little ironic that we had Chicago today?
I know, perfect question.
All right, this is the one you're not going to get, I don't think. So, in 2006, Kevin Costner starred as famous U.S. Coast Guard swimmer Ben Randall in this movie.
The Guardian.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
nice.
Oh, wow.
Wow!
Nice.
Wow!
Excellent.
You just threw me off my game here. All
like the
right, so
only
that
one
was
I'm
correct.
gonna
There is
see.
one question left. This 1970s TV show was based on L.A. firefighters and paramedics.
Emergency.
Oh my God!
Nice.
So
Wow.
that is it. You got 4 of 5 correct.
We might have to send you a T-shirt or something. Maybe
No,
not the trophy,
we'll
but
get
something.
him a Ben Franklin
Yeah.
coffee mug or something like that.
Excellent,
So,
excellent.
Chris, that was very impressive. I was shocked that you would get emergency egg, but I guess that is from our age, even though we're only in our 30s. Anyway,
Yeah.
that
I'm very, very mad at myself for not getting that Finest Hours.
I was going to say, I hope all your Coast Guard friends rag on you a little bit.
You know what? And that was actually filmed in Quincy, and I was on the set for a couple of days.
Oh, God, that's pretty
so-
cool.
What? Really?
I have scuba dove that wreck off of Cape Cod. I've dived that a couple of times, but I haven't in a while because there's great white sharks everywhere out there now, so I don't want to get chomped on. But
Yeah,
anyway,
there's a lot of great whites there.
Yeah, no, my shark app goes bing, 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 bing all summer long. But I guess that is coming to the end of our program. For all of you listening, we thank you very much. Today's guest, of course, was United States Coast Guard veteran Chris Madden. By the way, I think, Chris, you were serving, when Vince was Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, I think.
He was, yes. Yes, I know that name very well. I never had the opportunity to meet him, but yes, I've had yeah.
I can assure you that meeting him is as awesome as you imagine. He is an absolutely special American, and it is an honor for us to have him both working with us and coming on our show from time to time. Vince, if you're out there, we thank you so much, as always, as we do all the Pinnacle 5. And for all of you teachers out there, do not forget, the Ben Franklin Project is now remote. We can do it through Zoom and Google Classmates, whatever it's called. I don't do that stuff. I'm just the voice, but
We can do it virtually.
we can do it virtually.
We
Thank you.
We
Thank
got
you.
your platform covered.
Thank
Better
you.
explanation
And
right
remember,
there.
we do it for any students. You can be kindergarten, all the way through high school. We have 16 different lesson plans, and we also can do any lesson plan you would like us to do. So check us out on the web at www.stepupamericaprogram.org. Chris, thank you for your service to the country, the United States Coast Guard, and, of course, thank you for being the chief of the Milton Fire Department, which, of course, where my mom, Mary, lives. So it's good to know that one of my high school buddies is there in case Mary needs it. Chris, do me a favor and say hi to your entire fire department from Renahan. Tell them I said hello and thanks for all they do. Everybody, thank you once again on behalf of John, Adrian, Noah, and this week's special guest, Milton, Mass. Fire Chief Chris Madden and former U.S. Coast Guard veterans. Thank you so much, everybody, and don't forget Ben Franklin's words. Be kind to others, and you're being kind to yourself. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, where our guest is Brett Morash from Racing for Heroes. They are an incredible organization, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Chris, thanks again, brother.
God bless.
Chris, thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
You guys appreciate it.
All
What
right.
you guys do is fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Get back to serving the people of Milton. Have a great one, Chris.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye, guys.
Take care.